What's cooking, Bianconeri? Welcome back to your old lady's favorite YouTube channel. It wasn't pretty, but Juventus got the 1-0 victory over Zenit away in Russia to bring home the 3 points for Juventus to continue their trek in the Champions League. It's time to rate those players. Let's do it now. Ciao ragazzi, welcome back to the Bianconeri Zone. My name is Justin Sofro, and regardless of what this is down here, it's actually Thursday, October 21st, 2021. We're going to have your latest ratings of all things, well, the first ratings of all of the Juventus players today. But before we do that, make sure you hit that like button. Please hit that like button. It really makes a big difference with the algorithm, helps our channel grow, reach more Juventus fans around the world, and that is our goal long term. But also hit that subscribe button as well, as it definitely helps you stay up to date with all of our videos. But anyway, before we do anything, let's just go ahead and talk about a little bit of what we saw with the game. It wasn't a beautiful game, and it's going to reflect that in some of the ratings. I'd say overall Juventus, I think Allegri stood by it. He made a comment saying that overall Juventus played a fairly poor match. They probably deserved to lose, or they probably deserve more than likely to draw, but they didn't, and that's the beauty of the game. And that's also one of the reasons that you hire a guy like Max Allegri. 1-0 is his scoreline. We are the 1-0 FC, and I am happy to be 1-0 FC. It's better than the alternative. Let's just go ahead and jump into it. Talk about some of the performances, but again, like I said, take it with a grain of salt because I think overall, my personal opinion was almost everybody was pretty bad. It was not good. So let's just go ahead and jump into it. The first one we have here is Tech, and that's Wojciech Szczesny. With his rating, I gave him a 6 overall rating. I'd say the player, honestly, for a long period of the match, I thought I was going to have to say that he was one of the better players of the game, mainly because he had stopped a couple balls that were dangerous from Zenit, and I thought could put us in a hole pretty quickly. And then I don't know if our offense was going to be able to dig ourselves out of it. So I give him a little bit of credit there. He had a save that I thought was going to go, well, I thought it was going into the goal, and somehow he had gotten his fingertips on it and saved it away. It was pretty good, solid. He had 2 saves. He played all 90 minutes, of course. 1 save from inside the box. That's what I'm talking about. 6 accurate long balls overall, and just, it was a solid performance from Wojciech Szczesny. Nothing too great, nothing too terrible, but it's what I need. It's what we need. All right, let's move on to the next one, and that is Matia De Chilio. He was really the player of the match last game. He definitely had a coming out party. It was not the player that I'm used to seeing, to be honest, when it comes to Matia De Chilio. He was a 6 today. Again, 6 to me is a pretty average rating for players. I know I gave Szczesny that, but I think he was really deserving of probably of a 6. To me, De Chilio wasn't anything special. He wasn't bad. But I'd say overall, what I saw from De Chilio was more of an average player of what we expect from average players. And it's not fair for me to go to a Bernardeschi, to a De Chilio, and because they have games where they're serviceable and they're average, to treat them like they had a great game. Does that make sense? It's the way I look at it. When you play for Juventus, I expect more from you. But overall, I'd say he had a pretty average game. Let's go to some of his stats, really, of his stat line of what he played. He got a 6 overall. He had 1 assist, 1 clearance, 3 interceptions, 1 tackle. He had 4 ground duels, 1. He had 3 key passes, 3 accurate crosses, 1 big chance created, and 2 successful dribbles. The main thing that I want to take away from this is it was a tale of 2 halves for De Chilio. De Chilio in the first half, when he was playing over there on the right, was pretty terrible. He was bad. He was not good at all. But later in the match, when he was moved on to the other side, he was more comfortable. He was more fluid there on the left. He did way better. So in the second half, he looked like a much better player, so much improved. Otherwise, this rating may look a lot worse than what it is right now. Now, let's move it over and talk about Matthijs de Ligt. And this, to me, was the guy who was my player of the match for Juventus. I gave him a 7 overall rating. He was all over the place. He was stopping balls, stopping progression. He was doing everything that you need from a center back and what you expect from a center back. This is why De Ligt is the future of Juventus. This is why he is the, people talk about him for the idea of being a captain down the line. He shows everything you expect from a player of his caliber, and he's definitely one of Juventus's best players. He had 4 clearances. He had 3 ground duels, 1. He had 5 aerial duels, 1. He only lost possession 4 times, which is to me solid. And he had 2 successful dribbles, but he made some big stops when it counted most. Overall for Juventus, to me, he is the player of the match. That's my personal rating for Matthias de Ligt. Then we can go over to his counterpart, and that's Leonardo Bonucci, who I gave a 6 rating overall. Like I said, solid overall rating, not the best. I'll be honest, I've seen conflicting reports when it comes to Bonucci and some of his play that he had. I like Leonardo Bonucci a lot, but my personal opinion was Bonucci did not live up to what I guess I expect from like a captain. I expect him to do a little bit more. There were plenty of times that he got beat or they lost possession. There's just too many hiccups there to account for all the other stuff he does. He had 1 clearance, 2 block shots, 1 interception, 1 tackle, 3 ground duels, 1 aerial duel, 1, but lost possession 13 times. That's a pretty rough one. He did have 15 accurate long balls, which I got to give him credit there, and 1 successful dribble, but there were just too many defensive lapses there where he got lost his man. That I just have an issue with personally. Let me know if you disagree with me in the comment section down below. I'm sure you will. But just let me know what you think about that. I just think Bonucci maybe received a little bit more praise than he should have. Then we can move on to Sandro over there on the left. I gave him a 6 rating overall. Again, another player that was serviceable. The defense did enough to keep them scoreless throughout the match, but nothing super special overall. He had 2 clearances, a tackle, 2 ground duels, 1, 2 aerial duels, 1. He had 3 accurate long balls and 1 shot off target. So overall, a fine performance from Alexandro. Nothing, again, I guess when I say fine, I mean it's fine. When I say fine, I don't mean a fine performance. I mean it's fine. It's fine. That's what I'm kind of saying when I talk about some of these players. Oh, let's go to Bianconeri. We got to talk about Bianconeri. I don't think Bianconeri was that good at all. I did not like what I saw from him. He was probably one of the worst players out there on the field for a lot of the game. I gave him a 5.5 rating. He played for about 84 minutes. He had 1 key pass, no accurate crosses, 2 accurate long balls. He had 2 ground duels, 1. None of his aerial duels did he win. He lost possession 12 times, and he had 2 tackles. Again, wasn't impressed with Bianconeri today. Overall, I expect more from him, and he hasn't lived up to that for a little while. So we'll see if he comes back from that in the future. Next, we can go to our star midfielder, the best midfielder we have out there, and that was Manuel Locatelli. I gave him a 6 rating as well. I'll be honest, this was probably one of the more poor games that I saw from Manuel Locatelli. There's just nothing that the midfield could really get going, anything of meaning. Nobody was creating, and that was one of my biggest problems, is that you bring in a guy like Locatelli, and I understand that's not exactly what he does, but he knows how to be creative, and he can do it when it's necessary. Didn't exactly get that job done today. No accurate crosses, 2 accurate long balls, 2 shots off target, 0 ground duel. He only had 1 other. He had 1 total ground duels, but he did not win it. 2 aerial duels, 1. Lost possession 11 times, 1 block shot, 1 interception. Not exactly one of his best moments overall in a Juventus jersey, but he did come out. I think they saw what was out there. Wasn't playing super positively. I don't know exactly the word I was trying to go for there, but wasn't playing to what the standard that Allegri was expecting, and that's why he was benched for Archer in that moment, which is probably a good moment, honestly. I think also maybe moments like this, maybe him and Chiesa are starting to show their wear and tear, and they need to be rested a little bit before they play more matches. Let's move on to Weston Mckinney, the American, and his performance today. That was a performance that kind of stuck out to me a little bit. Not that it was overly bad, but again, regressing to the mean, being there just when the whole team is bad and being not worse doesn't give you any points in my book. Does that make sense to you guys, what I'm saying here? What I'm putting down? Are you catching what I'm putting down? I give him a 5.5 overall rating. I think he was probably one of the worst players on the... Well, no, okay, no. Bianconeri was more one of the worst players. What am I trying to say here? Okay, what I'm trying to get out is a little bit of disappointment in Weston McKinney today in his performance. A lot of it has to do with missed opportunities. Let's just go through this real quick. He had 2 accurate long balls, 1 shot on target, 1 shot off target. He had 1 successful dribble, 1 big chance miss, 3 ground duels, 1 aerial duel, 1. 14 times he lost possession. He had 1 interception, 2 tackles. But the biggest moments, those were those 2 opportunities he had on goal, and he didn't finish them. And again, we talk about Weston Mckinney and the issues that he has for the team currently, for the club, and why so many people are so harsh on him. A lot of it has to do with last year at this time, he was finishing these opportunities. Now he's not doing it, so you're not seeing that positivity from Juventus fans, from the coaching staff, whatever have you, that he was receiving. So now you're looking at it like, what does this guy offer? And without those goals, it's not a lot, to be honest. You got to finish on that header. You got to put a little bit more mustard on that instead of on your head. That was a hair joke. I'm not the guy who should be making hair jokes. But overall, but then on the strike that was provided from Morata was just a piss poor attempt. It wasn't good. I don't know what else I can really get from it, but it just wasn't a good shot. You've got to finish that. You've got to get that score. Juventus should have gone up 1-0. Honestly, behind Weston McKinney, they should have gone up 2-0 at least, and then Kulusevski, of course, coming in was saving it, could have made it 3-0 easily, but unfortunately, they had to eke this one out as it was. Let's move on to Federico Chiesa, the golden child, as he usually is for Juventus. Was not really that today. And there's a lot of factors that can fall into that why he wasn't. I gave him a 6 rating overall. Not the best performance from Chiesa. Was he worse than anybody? Not really. But was he better? Hell no. He had 3 shots off target, 1 shot blocked. He had 3 successful dribbles. He had 1 key pass, 3 accurate long balls, 5 ground duels, 1, but out of 12, that's not great. And he lost possession 19 times. Again, not good. 1 block shot, 1 tackle. Chiesa's tired. Chiesa's really tired. Chiesa needs some rest. Chiesa needs... He's played how many matches straight? Played all the international matches. He played for Juventus. The last time I think he didn't play was when he was injured. So however long that's been, he's played way too many matches without getting a rest. It's time to rest our boy. He's playing out of position, and there he's not comfortable instead of playing on the wing like he likes. So there's a lot of factors in there playing why he's playing worse. I'm going to say poorly, but worse. Just give him some rest. That's all it is. But the problem is we can't afford to rest him right now because this weekend Juventus plays Inter and it's not a time to rest our guy. After that, maybe. But for right now, you got to come in and give us your A game against Inter and play as well as you can to get the victory and bring home those 3 points and close that gap between Inter and Juventus. But as it stands, he gets a 6.6 overall rating from me. Let's move it on to Morata. Gave him a 5.5 rating. Not terrible, but not the best. He overall struggled in multiple situations. He did have chances that he created, like the one for Weston McKinney that failed to go through, unfortunately. But I expect a little bit more from Morata. 1 shot off target is all he had. And that's my biggest problem. Is if you're Morata, you got to be creating more opportunities to score, and you got to be taking more chances on it to try to actually get a goal. That's what you're out there to do. Morata, take some shots. 1 successful dribble. He only had 36 touches, which seems really 35 actually, which seems really, really low to me, especially for a striker. He had 2 key passes, 1 accurate long ball, 1 big chance created, which unfortunately failed. 3 ground duels, 1, and 1 clearance and 1 tackle. So, like again, there's not a lot to say because I'll be honest, I want to go into more detail and talk more about these players, but a lot of these, it was a snooze fest. If you got through the first 60 minutes of the match without like looking away at your phone or something like that, good on you because it didn't work for me. I was bored to death out of my mind with some of their pace of play, and Zenit kind of does that to you. Inter won't do that. Let's move on to Bernardeschi and his performance. He also received a 5.5 from me rating. I think overall our attack just wasn't good. You look at Chiesa, Bernardeschi over Morata. A lot of them were struggling to create anything. It's also why I made a mention to Julian from our channel and say, I think it's your guys' time. I can't believe I was right, but I said, I believe it's Ginotti's time, or not Ginotti's. It is always Ginotti. It's always your time to shine, but it's Kulusevski's time to shine. Can he get it done? But first we're on Bernardeschi. No shots on target, no shots off target, no shots even attempted. Go figure. 3 successful dribbles. I thought he'd at least air 1 out, right? 3 successful dribbles. No accurate crosses out of 3. 1 accurate long ball. 4 ground duels, one block shot that he blocks him a shot, and 1 interception. Got to do more than that. Like, you really need to bring more. Bernadeschi, what are you doing out there? Half of the time, you look like you're asleep. You look like what I feel like I'm falling asleep right now, trying to do this, just trying to talk to you. I can feel myself yawning as I'm doing this. Overall, Bernadeschi's had his opportunities. It's time to move on. It's time to give more guys opportunities. Mainly, this guy is the guy we need to give opportunities to. He's replaced him. He came in and replaced him. He played 32 minutes overall, but that was Dejan Kulusevski, who was our second best player overall. He gets a 6.5 rating from me. I really liked what I saw from Kulusevski out there, and of course, he scored the winning goal. I don't know why I paused there. Why did I pause for that long? He had 1 goal. He had 1 key pass. He had 1 shot on target. 1 ground duel, 1. Not a lot to go on. One tackle in 32 minutes. Not bad. I gave him a 6.5 rating overall, mainly because obviously he came in and got what he needed to do. He got the header, got his first goal in Champions League, which is a big moment for Dejan Kulusevski, but also just a big moment for Juventus, who looked like they were about to sleep their way to a 0-0 draw and end up having to come home with only 1 point and needing to go get another victory or 2 down the road. Solid performance by Luis Kulusevski. I think he's earned his chance to try to, when I say earned your chance, I feel like anybody's earned their chance right now to play over Bernadeschi. I know that may sound harsh, but it's just how I feel currently. But I feel like right now at this moment, he needs to be playing, especially if you're going to go with another starting formation like this. Just substitute Bernadeschi out, Kulusevski in, and we're good to go. That's what I would do personally. All right, let's talk about these other ones, and then we'll wrap this one up for you guys. So we got to move on to Artur and his performance. I gave Artur a 6. I think he was solid overall. He didn't play that long. He came in the 58 minutes, played 32 minutes. He had 1 key pass, 1 accurate long ball, 1 block shot. He was fine. I really do. What I really want to get to, and there's some good things I saw from him. The only problem is he is slow. He's very slow. There's some moments when he gets out there that I worry about people taking advantage of him on defense. He's going to be a defensive liability. Sometimes that's why you need to have him and Locatelli hopefully together. And that's where I'm key on for the future is I want to see Locatelli and Artur together. And I want to see how they really vibe. We saw a little bit of it last match, but I want to see a lot more of it. Hopefully we get a bit more going in the future. Okay, and then after him, we got Cuadrado, 1EC, 5.5. Not a great performance by Cuadrado. Not what I expected from him. He had 1 clearance. He had 2 accurate long balls, and that was basically what he did today. Not a lot. I was really, really expecting him to come in and give us a bit more of a boost, energy, creativity-wise. He didn't really do that yet. He didn't do it today. So he's still off. I think him and Kias are kind of in that same boat. They need rest. They need rest bad. That's where we stick. And let's move on. We got Moise Kean to talk about. He got a 5.5 rating overall. Didn't have the best performance, but also he played very little time. 14 minutes. What else are you going to do in 14 minutes? Unless you do something spectacular, I really can't bump you up for anything else. He had 1 clearance. I don't know what else to say about Moise Kean right now. Anyway, that's about it for him. Ramsey played as well, but he didn't play enough or do anything enough to give him any ratings, so we skipped that one for today. Nothing personal against Ramsey. I know you might think that I'm doing it just to spite Ramsey, but I'm not doing it. I'm not. All right. Anyway, let's go to Allegri. I gave him a 6 rating overall. Decent enough when it came to the coach and what he put out there, especially when you got guys like Adrian Rabiot, Paulo Dybala out, and then you have Matia De Chilio, who was doubtful because we thought he might be injured, but he ended up playing anyway. But especially when you're missing guys like Dybala, Rabiot, take him or leave him. But when you're missing Dybala in your attack, you're really just kind of working with you're doing a jigsaw puzzle right now. You're trying to figure out who to put into the spot, who will really fit, especially when you're missing a piece. It's difficult to end up making the picture look good at the end. I don't know why I went with that analogy, but I did. But anyway, hopefully we can see a little bit more maybe from Kulusevski and give him more opportunities, especially because we know right now people are talking about, is he going? Where's he going to go? Is he going to stay with Juventus? What's his future looking like? It's looking a little cloudy. I know we talked about potentially loaning him out. We'll see what goes on, but hopefully he can get more opportunities and chances to really do something, especially over guys like Bernadeschi, who I think just don't need it right now at this point. Let me know your thoughts on my ratings that I gave you below. Do you agree with them? Do you disagree with them? Do you think I'm terribly off base and I don't know what I'm talking about, and why am I even having a show? I don't know either. Let me know in the comment section down below as well. If you haven't already, please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button to join our community and our channel and what we're doing here, as well as hit that bell icon to stay notified for all of our latest videos. Make sure you follow me at Justin Sofro on Twitter, follow Bianconerizone at Bianconerizone on Twitter and Instagram, and follow Julian Genotti at Genotti151 on Twitter as well. Forza Juve, Forza Bianconeri.